Hi guys, and welcome back to Stupid is the Norm, the channel where I demonstrate how to become a millionaire in 10 years. I'm 3.5 years into the program and I've already reached lean FI, where my passive income now pays all my bills. And in this video I want to explain to you how to make money flow towards you. Now this isn't some sort of law of attraction BS. Money does flow, and it flows from those who don't understand it to those who do understand it. So let me give you a couple of examples of how money flows from those who don't understand it to those who do. Let's say somebody goes into a shop and buys the latest gadget. Let's call it an iPhone because I'm using an iPhone to film this. So they go into the Apple shop and they buy the brand new, most up-to-date iPhone. Money flows from that person to Apple. I own shares in Apple via my Vanguard ETF. Hopefully the value of the shares goes up because people are buying lots of gadgets, people who don't understand how money works. The value of shares goes up, which means I become more wealthy, and hopefully they give me a dividend as well, so my income increases. So there's an example of how it flows from a person who doesn't understand it to a person who does. Another example is, it took me 2 years to save up my first deposit for a rental property. But now I've bought my rental property and someone's living there, someone who couldn't afford a mortgage or didn't want to take on the debt, now lives there and pays me rent. So money flows towards me. You see examples of this everywhere. You know, the guy driving around in the flash car that's on a lease, that's wearing all the bling and dresses up in the most designer clothes and has a nice house. To all intents and purposes, he looks wealthy, but the guy probably hasn't got a pot to piss in because he doesn't understand money and he's spending it. And every time he spends money, he makes somebody else wealthier. Hopefully, you and I. Now money loves company. It really loves to grow and grow. So you want to send it out into the world and get all its mates back and join in the party here. What you need to do is to understand money better. So you're buying appreciating assets and not buying depreciating assets. So the money flows to you from someone else who doesn't understand it to you who does. Now I'm sure you don't need me to convince you of this. If you look at your own circumstances now, the measure of how much you understand money is there. It's a lagging indicator of how much you have invested. If you don't have so much invested, if you've been spending your money all the time and giving it away and making someone else wealthier, then you need to stop doing that, because that's not understanding money. You need to get your costs down so you have more money to invest, and if you can't get your costs down, the ram down as much as they possibly are, then you really need to find some way to increase your income. But in some way, shape or form, you need to stop spending money on stuff you can't afford to impress people you don't like and start investing it in appreciating assets. So the money stops flowing away from you and begins to flow to you. Well, that all sounds great, Perry, but what should I be investing in? Well, if you want to become wealthy and you go through the Times Rich list as I've done, there are only 3 ways to do it. 1, you have a business and sell it. 2, you invest in stocks and shares. Or 3, you do it in property. Now, if you're not entrepreneurial spirit, and most people aren't, let's rule out business. So that only leaves you, nice and simply, only 2 ways of doing it. That's stocks and shares or property. And if you want to get invested in stock and shares, that's going to take a little longer. I didn't have the time. I started at 57, so my time was dictated by my retirement age, which is 67, so I was forced into 10 years. And so I need to get the biggest bang for my money, so I have to do that within property. So there's your options: stocks and shares, which take a little longer, or property. So all these guys on the Times Rich list, money flows to them, and it'll flow to you too if you follow their example. It didn't happen by accident though. They didn't inherit it. Well, some of them did actually, because there's actually only 3 on the top 100 who inherited it. Everybody else had to work for it. And it didn't happen by accident. They had a plan. They set themselves a goal, they set themselves a time frame, and they decided how they're going to do it, either in stocks or shares or in property. And you can do the same. And let me tell you something else. It does take time. If you think this is going to happen overnight, you're misguided. There is no way to become wealthy overnight. Anybody tries to tell you so, run a mile, especially if they're trying to sell you a course on how to do it. It took me 2 years to save my first deposit on a buy-to-let property. 2 years of working 60, 80 hours a week, 363 days a year. I only took 4 days off in those 2 years. It's hard work, but if you're willing to put the sacrifice in and you make the savings and you invest that money, wealth will flow to you too, just as it's flown to me now. So as usual, my message is a simple one. To get money to flow to you, you need to take a number of steps. You need to cut costs and stop frivolous spending. You need to find a way to increase income if that's possible, even if it's just working more hours. Although lots of people, gurus in here, will tell you you don't have to work hard, you do have to work damn hard for it. So you have to put the extra hours in to generate more income. Then you take that money and you invest it. And over time, that little trickle of extra income, my first rental was only £400. The second one, a year and a half later, another £400, £800. The third one, £1,200. That trickle, not quickly, but over time, gradually will turn into a torrent. Make money flow towards you. Don't be stupid and don't be normal, guys.